Hello, everybody. Alright, I'm gonna see if my audio is working. I never know with these things. I'm a professional, so it should be working. The most professional person on the planet. That's what everyone knows me for. Alright, yeah, it seems to be working. Alright, I checked on my end. Hi underscore Swidd. That's me. The absolute brilliance of that name. This is gonna be a weird stream, unsurprisingly. There's gonna be some surprises. There's gonna be some things that are gonna be said. It is on time. I'm gonna be a little longer. How's everybody's days in chat? Is everyone doing well? I'm doing well. It's too hot in California, though. What an irritating state. Irksomely irritating. Is the music voice balance good for everybody too? Might as well ask that question too. You don't know how long the delay on the stream is. Is it 30 seconds or is it 10 seconds? If it's 30 seconds, that's not. We are a read for the meat and potatoes you're about to dish out. Alright. Voice music good. Exhausting. Birthday party right after. Music's a little too loud? Alright. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit then. Alright. Should be quite a bit louder on your end. Alright, I hope you are doing well, Saftos, then. Happy birthday for the person who that is for. Hope you get a good rest, though, too. I think it's like 9 where you are, so it's almost night-night. Alright. I feel as if I'm gonna start now. I'm gonna turn down the music a little bit. Alright, so this is going to be a weird little stream. At first, I'm going to be going through this document with no suspect things. Talking about my base plans this season. That's not the only part, obviously, because it says Season 3 plans. Pretty loud and clear right there. So it's not just that. And a lot of people were like, what even is your base? Because if you look at it on Blue Map, it's like, it looks like nonsense. But what my base is supposed to represent, what it is as a whole, is it more or less supposed to like represent like a source of video gaming. Like, it's basically like where all video games come from. Whether it's like on your computer, or on your consoles, or on your phones. Basically, anywhere a video game is, like, the idea is that it's represented in this, my starter, quote-unquote, base. And that's basically what the first part is. I'm happy with how it turned out. I like the glyph that I did. Will serve a purpose in the future, but we'll get to that later. But here's the main part, is that, obviously, I claimed a pretty big area, and the reason why I made the source of video gaming is that, like, the almost idea is that that source of video games is like pulling in it's like pulling in everything else, like all types of video games, whether it's like from the consoles or the creators, and pulling it into this Minecraft world. Like basically the game worlds are gonna almost like crash into our world. It's mostly gonna be an above ground world build. Some of it could be underground, some of it could be in the sky. I do want to have like all the video game world builds basically in like this big red circle here. It's like here is the source, and this whole other bigger area is roughly where I claimed. Now I'm thinking about it. It could be too small, but I don't know. I'll breach into Hundus's territory if I want. He wouldn't mind, surely. And here's like the part where I'm actually gonna like, I'm asking kind of for help, like brainstorming a little bit. I kind of need to decide, since it's supposed to be video games of all types. I'm not. See, the funny thing about me specifically doing this base, I don't have every console. I don't have a PS5 right now. I used to have a PS4, but I no longer do. My brother has an Xbox One, but I never get to play it. And I don't have interest in getting back into Xbox. So the only consoles I do, the only gaming devices I have, really, is my computer, which barely runs past gen games. My Nintendo Switch 2, and my phone. So basically what I would think, because there are a couple of franchises that I feel like are a given to be added into this. And some other franchises are like, maybe I can get that to work. Because the thing is, not every franchise needs to take up like this big area. Like I've already listed 3 examples. Like 3 examples, like the absolutely tier. If I'm doing a video game base, I'm going to include Mario. I want to include God of War. The probably tier is basically, I want to include it. I don't know enough about the franchise, or I don't know what to do with the franchise. And the maybe tier is, maybe I add them. It's important, but either it's hard to conceptually think about how it's gonna work, or like it just like maybe isn't relevant enough. Who knows? I already see Saftos suggesting 2 franchises I do actually like. Let's just get those 2 on the board. Pokemon is at the absolutely tier. What I would build from Pokemon, I don't know per se. Because most Pokemon games, they're all kind of take different settings. But like the only thing I can really think of is a Poké Center, which I think would work. Because honestly, for like the first like 5 games, all Pokemon Centers look virtually the exact same. So that's like my preliminary idea. I do have franchise ideas in my mind that I know are in the respective tier. I just haven't added them yet for the suspense streamer moment. And Stardew Valley's a maybe. I'll love like the idea of adding like Gus's Saloon or something, and like put it in like a specific area and just having like all the Stardew Valley NPCs kind of just in there. But as for the larger picture, that's kind of hard to work in. So maybe Hollow Knight is also But okay, let's actually add another tier. Probably not. I'm not gonna add anything there for now. Hollow Knight, I think Hollow Knight goes in the maybe tier. The main problem with Hollow Knight for me is, by the way, I actually finished Hollow Knight recently. That is one of my favorite games of all time, honestly. In credit, honestly, for $20, you get a banging Metrovania on your side. My problem with Hollow Knight is the setting. It would more or less have to be an underground build. In like that, I don't like the idea of like locking, like having underground builds. I could maybe make it work, like have a hollow nest be on the surface, but Hollow Knight's a big maybe. We'll get into like bigger plans, but Hollow Knight, I already actually had an idea for Hollow Knight, but maybe not a base idea for Hollow Knight. But I did have plans for Hollow Knight, as in including it for my base. I should probably increase the size of. There we go. Let's increase the size. Basically, also what I'm doing right now. What endings do you get? My first ending. Oh yeah, I'll talk about it. Actually, I didn't. I still need the 100%, like beyond 100% the game. I've 100% quoted the game, but I still have to do like the secret final boss. So right now, my only ending right now is the one where the knight just gets like imprisoned in place of the vessel. So that's the only ending I have right now. I do want to do that before Silksong comes out. I honestly do think Silksong is coming out this year. But I also said that last year, so I'm stupid. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I might as well just like speculate on my other franchises that I wanted to include. Like, let's just get this one out of the way. Halo is a yes, a probably. In fact, more tiers. Absolutely. You know, God of War also goes to that. Let's just rename this tier, actually. That's stupid. God of War and Halo. I guess the reason, like, I kind of have to do both of those, because those are both, they're basically... God of War is basically Sony's... I feel like it's they're marketing it as their tentpole title, which is so bizarre for me, or bizarre to me. But like, I think God of War is their overall most famous series. The problem with God of War is, first of all, I've only played 2018. I do know of the other games, and like thinking about on 2018. What is a famous location from God of War? Kratos' house is like a normal-ass house in the Norse forest. Let's see what else. I guess I could maybe do the chamber where you fast travel. That could be a cool idea. But does that represent God of War enough? If you go back to the original trilogy, we could do like Mount Olympus, but like that's a huge scale issue. I'm not going to build Jormungandr because that just doesn't fit thematically. It would be too clashing, and also I kind of want these to be locations to explore. So building a big snake would be kind of chilly. Assassin's Creed. I think that's a good shout, actually. I haven't thought about Assassin's Creed. And Halo has more or less the same issues, except I know for a fact there's actually a famous Halo place. I just don't know which one. I think Assassin's Creed is actually a great shout. And this is where, like, my gap of knowledge is at. I don't know anything about Assassin's Creed. So, another tier, Assassin's Creed. Ultimately, I think Assassin's Creed is actually just that important. I mean, frankly, it's kind of its own genre. People call it the Ubisoft genre, which is funny. But I think it kind of pivots that own style of game. And speaking of pivoting its own style of game, This is another blank spot for me, crazily enough, because I only played the third series of this entry for like 2 hours before I was like, I'm not having fun. Elden Ring / Dark Souls is 100% gonna get in. I have to. I'm just wondering what could get in from these games. There's potential for doing the tree from Elden Ring, but like maybe that would be too big because that is a big tree. Just doing a normal campfire would just be too simple for Dark Souls. Like just the campfire is like, Dark Souls could use more than that. And this is like, this is too clear. Like, maybe this is my bias. I feel like with Nintendo games, I have such a clear image on what their franchises are. But I really struggle with everyone else. Let's just get this one actually out of the way first, though. So I'm not a complete Nintendo drone. Tetris. Tetris is gonna get in. Oh, did they cast for honoring? Potentially. Potentially. Oh, it's getting dark. Grr. I have to look at the castle. I've not played Elden Ring. But, like, potentially it's feasible. Tetris is an absolute include. It's literally the most famous puzzle game of all time. It is also, until Minecraft, is the highest selling game of all time. Animal Crossing. This is low-key one. This is going to be a hot take. I'd rather include Stardew Valley than Animal Crossing. Which is... They don't occupy the same genre space. I'll put it right next to Stardew. The thing with Animal Crossing is that, okay, and I've only played New Leaf and New Horizons. I can't think of, like, one centralizing location that's the same between both of these games. And I know that's because New Horizons was a very different type of game. Meanwhile, with Stardew Valley, everyone has the same exact map. So I can very easily think, like, Gus's Saloon is such an easy one for me to think of from Stardew because it's the only place in Stardew Valley where everyone actually goes to it eventually. So I think that'd be cute. But with Animal Crossing, what would I do? I would do, like, Town Hall, I guess? I mean, Town Hall could work, like New Horizons Town Hall. So there's potential there still. Ultimately, Animal Crossing, Nook Shop. That's a good answer, too. I don't know. I guess I should have considered that one actually, too. But, like, would it be Nook Shop or the Town Hall? I don't know. I think you could make a good argument for both of them. Let's see. What other franchises? Because I also want to basically represent most of every genre and most of every platform. Let's get the genre and platform definers out of the way. Let's put Final Fantasy. Get Guard. No, from Final Fantasy VII, the famous one. Probably the most famous JRPG series of all time. Final Fantasy VII is by far the most famous game from that series, and it's also the most famous location of that same series. Tom Nook is more well known, goes hand in hand with Animal Crossing. I mean, the thing is, Tom Nook. Okay, I'm actually dead forgetting. Does Tom Nook run the? I can't believe forgetting this. Tom Nook runs the shop in New Leaf, right? Because he doesn't in New Horizons, I know that for sure. You need a strategic game? I do need a strategic game. So yeah, I have Final Fantasy there. Genre definers. Okay, and here's where I kind of destroy one as a probably, even though it's like, this is weird as a probably. Actually, this is more like a one or the other. I'm only doing one of Metroid or Castlevania. Leaning towards Metroid. Both of these, I mean, the genre is called Metroidvania. It's a Metroid Castlevania. So it's like, I do want to include, I think Metroid's easier. Like, I could do the castle from, like, Symphony of the Night or something. But, like, I feel like with the scale Metroid is at, but again, it's an underground building too, so Metroid's kind of sucks in this regard. Both of these suck in terms of the scale I'm working at. Castlevania, you have to build a big old castle. And Metroid, you probably have to do it underground. It's like, well, whatever. I'll decide on one of them eventually. I think both of them are just simply too important not to think about. Do what I wanted to Clash of Clans Village. I wanted to talk about mobile games. I want to talk about mobile games. I like the idea of Clash of Clans, but I'm gonna be honest. I was thinking of three Candy Crushes. New tier interchangeables, but probably only one. Let's put Candy Crush in this, like the famous boomer game, mobile game. Clash of Clans was the other one. And Plants vs. Zombies. And this is a hard choice for me, actually. It's more, honestly, I'm not sold on the idea of Candy Crush anymore, especially since I'm having Tetris. Hi, Hundus. If you missed the beginning of the stream, basically, my base, I've actually already told you this, you're one of the few people who knows. Basically, I'm expanding my base. Dragon Age. Ooh, that's a franchise I know nothing about. I know it's famous enough, so I'll put in the maybe. We'll see what happens. You were actually hearing. How's your day going on this? Doki doki. I kind of, in terms of like the mobile games of these three, I actually lean more towards wanting to do Plants vs. Zombies because of the scale. World of Warcraft. That's a great call. We need an MMO. Yeah, we don't have an MMO in World. I mean, I see StarCraft. StarCraft doesn't count. Does it? Kind of. As for a strategic game, I'm still thinking. I would like to do Civilization, but like, what would I do? Put hexagons on the field? I hope I'm not mixing up my franchises. I'm great, thank you. Isn't Final Fantasy an MMO? Okay. Yes, but I'm doing very specifically Final Fantasy VII, which is just a JRPG. I'm more or less ignoring every other Final Fantasy. Yeah. Yeah, like, as much as Final Fantasy is popular outside of 7, it's so warping. World of Warcraft, actually. World of Warcraft. I think it's the biggest MMO, simply. Like, RuneScape is an MMO, but like, RuneScape's I mean, RuneScape is like, you could argue it a little bit. I think we'll have to stood the test of time a little more. Are there any other mobile games that I really think could have a counter argument? No, not really. Diablo. Ooh, as an RTS. Okay. I like the idea of Diablo being here. Yeah. I'd say Diablo is not probably tier. Baldur's Gate 3. That's a singular game. It's very recent, which makes you want to like hesitate a bit, but ultimately also Baldur's Gate 3 was still really, really popular. But also, okay, I'm speaking as someone who has not played, or honestly, I'm not really familiar at all with Baldur's Gate 2 or 1. I know Baldur's Gate 2 was years old. Baldur's Gate 2 came out before my generation started playing games very much, which is crazy. That's a maybe for Baldur's Gate. I'm not going to put it on, but maybe. Diablo. Hey. I'm really trying to think of a strategy game. Strategy games are kind of hard to put on. I really don't know that many strategy games. Mass Effect. I like that idea. Like, ultimately, Mass Effect isn't, like, the most unique game on this list. But ultimately, I think it actually is. I think I'll put... I'll put Mass Effect as a maybe tier. Otar. That's a good shout. You know what? Let's focus on a couple things that I was thinking about. Zelda is in the absolute good tier. I don't know what I really want to do for a location for Zelda. Kotar is interesting. Because it kind of represents movies, too. I like that idea. Star Wars games are really popular. Unironic. You know what? Maybe anything Star Wars. Because I think that's a fun idea. Its DNA is not in gaming, but ultimately Star Wars has so many big games. I kind of want to think of it as a... And also, there's other adaptation video games here, so like, why am I singling that one up? Lego game. I thought about Lego games. How do I build that in Minecraft? Like, genuinely. I honestly, I made this tier. Probably not because of Lego. I don't know what I would do for making a Lego area. Pac-Man. Alright, that's another one I was thinking of. We have to get an arcade cabinet thing here. That was one of my absolutes. Pac-Man's in that must include. Oh yeah, thanks for Yankee, by the way. He was the first one to mention Tetris. I was like, Tetris is a probably, but he convinced me into honestly making it a must-have because Tetris is too big. And Pac-Man, frankly, kind of the same reason. Kind of the same reasons. We're more or less the most famous arcade game. Period. I'm just gonna go through like genres. Platformer. We already have Mario for platformers. I think platformers are definitely important enough to have another representative. Currently, right now, none of them are here. Jak and Daxter. See, okay. I actually love the idea of including a niche Sony represent IP. Well, let's get Sony out of the way, because we're not including that many Sony stuff right now. Jak and Daxter's a maybe. Jak and Daxter is a super dead franchise. But I actually do have a soft spot for Jak and Daxter. So I'll put it in. Yeah, I kind of would like to actually have something Jack and Daxter. The hell, Jax? And for Sony, probably it's like a Last of Us. Yeah, Last of Us is more or less Sony's biggest IP. Man, it's actually probably bigger than God of War. The problem with Last of Us, I'm going to be honest, it's not a particularly unique setting. It's an abandoned city. But I could do like the infected mushroom people. Pretty interesting. I have Software Jack and Daxter, favorite child game, like I wrote before. I also have my childhood game. Surprisingly, it's not really a Nintendo game. It's Little Big Planet on the PlayStation 3. I love that. I love Little Big Planet. Oh my god, I want Sony to do their platformers more. Grrr. Sony make more platforming games. Prince of Persia? The Ubisoft game? I feel like that's too new. But I'm going to be a hypocrite and say something's in the Fortnite category here. Fortnite, and specifically Tilted Towers. I do not like Fortnite as a game, but I have to include it. Everyone's a camper. I'm the camper, though, so I shouldn't be complaining. Building's lame, but also I don't think no build has enough to spice up the gameplay anyways. I just don't like Fortnite. But ultimately, I actually really like the setting of Fortnite. I think it's a fun concept. It's a concept I don't actually like playing, but Fortnite kind of has to be there for a recent game. But Fortnite also came out in 2017, so if we're calling this recent, then I want to shoot myself. Bomberman. How would a Bomberman location... You don't have to include Fortnite? No, I want to include Fortnite. Because it's so relevant. And honestly, I think Tilted Towers would be really fun to build, like, building Tilted Towers, like, right next to, like, the Last of Us abandoned city part. It's, like, the most goofy juxtaposition. I've already had ideas for Fortnite. The Fortnite's actually fun to build. Not a good game, though. It's a good game. It's a game I don't like. I'm not going to be that big of a hater. What other Sony IPs are? I'm going to look up Sony IPs. Like, unironic. PlayStation gaming IPs. They have a lot. Oh yeah, okay. Immediately I run into one. In the probably tier something. Resident Evil. Probably Resident Evil 4. But it could maybe do something from Village. Sly Cooper. Another Sony platformer they never used. I've heard Sly Cooper's good. I've never played it either, so I'm not going to include it. My only memory of Sly Cooper is that I won Sly Cooper in like a raffle thing, or no, I didn't win. I was in like Boy Scouts and I was doing like a raffle thing, and like I remember like a Sly Cooper game for the PS2 was on the shelf, and I put my raffle ticket in, and there was like no votes in that bucket, so I put it in the bucket for my raffle ticket. And I remember my dad, he like reached in and pulled my ticket out immediately. And he was like, "We don't have a PS2. We have a PS3. But isn't the PS..." And I didn't know at this time. Isn't PS3 backwards compatible with the PS2? I think it might be. So potentially my dad stole me from Sly Cooper. But if it isn't backwards compatible, I think it is, then never mind. My dad stole nothing from me. He saved me. He also he saved himself from not getting PS2. It is? Okay, yeah. My dad stole Sly Cooper from me. I hate these trees. Who designed this? It's backwards, yeah, that's what I thought. My dad stole Sly Cooper away from me. I'll never forget of him. Grr. Let's look for other Sony IPs. Ape Escape. Ape Escape's not there. Gran Turismo. All racing games are straight up not coming me over. Even Mario Kart. I can't really think of a way of making Mario Kart work. Last of Us, I already have that. Little Big Planet, I just don't think it works. Spider-Man. I don't think I want to just build New York City. Crash Bandicoot is a great shout. If I'm going to put down Sony IPs, I might as well push out Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot is not a Sony IP, but it's the most famous. It's basically the most famous. It's famously most tied to Sony, especially in like the PS1, PS2 days, where it was actually exclusive to PlayStation. I like the idea of adding Crash Bandicoot. What other franchises on the Google list? Rappa the Rapper, nah. Ratchet and Clank. Okay, if I'm gonna have Jak and Daxter, I'm gonna put Ratchet and Clank. This is a maybe here, and honestly, I feel like most of the games in this tier aren't actually going to happen. But I'm gonna put it there. It's like Twisted Metal. I'm just like scrolling through Jak over Ratchet. I've heard a lot of people say that. You're not the first one. Ghost of Tsushima is too recent. Horizon is... I kind of like... Okay. I've never played Horizon. None of my friends like Horizon either. But it's a big franchise, and I actually really like the idea of making a giant robot, so I'll put Horizon. I like the idea of building a massive robot dog, or dinosaur, so I'm going to put it in a maybe tier. Sony... Uncharted. I just ran into Uncharted. And actually, thinking about Uncharted literally just reminded me of Lara Croft. And Lara Croft is actually really important. I don't know anything about Lara Croft. And I know minimal about Uncharted. I'll keep those in the back of my head. Put Uncharted in the baby tier too. I've literally went through every exclusive-ish Sony IP. If any more comes to my mind, then yeah. So we got Sony IPs down. There's not that many Nintendo IPs. So we might as well just I might as well use my extensive knowledge of Nintendo to fill up the Nintendos. Let's see. So I put Mario in there. I put Zelda in there. Pokemon's in there. Let's talk about my favorite franchise. I don't know how I'd make Kirby work. I have played every Kirby game. I do not know how I'd actually make Kirby work. Because the most famous location on Kirby is Dreamland as a concept. And Dreamland as a concept is a giant star. How do I build that? I don't know. So I'd have to go for like a smaller Kirby location. Like the main one I think about is like Magolor's ship. But I'm like, first, is Kirby even big enough? Because Kirby's big. I feel like it's bigger for merchandising than the actual video game franchise. So I'm like, I don't know how I'd actually include Kirby. But you know me, like if I'm gonna make a video game base, dude, I'm going to have something Kirby there. I'll find a way. I'm biased. Kirby will be there. Let's just say probably not. Let's just go through all the Nintendo. Pikmin's are probably not because of the scale. Why was Pikmin the next one? Animal Crossing, we have Animal Crossing on the list. Fire Emblem's probably not. I'd rather include more or less any other JRPG. Wii Sports is just, I'm not even include on the list. It's just too real lifey. Even though Wii Sports is like ridiculously important. Octodad, pretty good. Octodad. I have beef with Octodad. I don't feel like it. I do want to talk about indie games as a whole, though, because I have a lot of indie games to talk about. Pikmin's better than Kirby. Those are very two different series. I don't know how you compare those. I'd say overall, Pikmin probably has a higher standard of quality because there's only 4 Pikmin games compared to like 30 Kirby games. So I'll give you that. I mean, I've only played 2 Pikmin games, but they were both very good, which means I've played half the series. What other? Smash Bros. Oh, yeah. Octodad is not a squid. It's in his name. Anyways. I actually thought about Smash Bros. Already. Like, the idea of having, like, Final Destination just kind of, like, floating above the area is pretty fun. How it would work, I don't know. But like, I could see myself fitting Smash Bros. In there somewhere. Maybe I just do a crash landed Final Destination, because like the concept is that the video game world literally crashed into into this world. So I can see like Final Destination literally being crash landed into it. So I can see Smash Bros. Work. Any other big Nintendo franchise I'm forgetting? Probably. Oh yeah, Donkey Kong. I'm literally buying a new Donkey Kong in like 3 days. There's a lot of DNA with Mario. So the only route I really want to take is Donkey Kong Arcade. But honestly, like, that's not even really talking myself out of it. I think Donkey Kong, just the arcade game, is actually relevant enough to be included. Probably? I think I'm getting very generous with what I'm going to say with probably, because I feel like tiers are now too big for me to do every probably. I think Donkey Kong's important enough. Everyone knows Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong? What type of question is that? It'd be Donkey Kong, the leader of the bunch, and you know him well. And he'll shoot you with your coconut gun. Okay, there's definitely other big Nintendo franchises that I forgot about freaking Donkey Kong. I'll keep thinking. Let's talk about Microsoft. Yikes. I don't know that many Microsoft IPs, and I've had more Xboxes than PlayStations. I can really only think of Halo. Holy cow. And Minecraft. That doesn't count, though. Yes, Halo is in the absolutely tier ready. Thank you. Thank you. I hate whoever coded these stupid trees into Minecraft. Anyways. Yeah, Halo's always the one that's like brought up. Nobody talks about anything else. Minecraft. Oh, Bean. You're so right. Oh my god, I don't know, how did I not ever think about that? Wait, that's crazy. I actually cannot think of a single other Microsoft IP. I'm not counting Bethesda. Oh yeah. How has nobody actually brought this one up? Elder Scrolls. I'm not counting it as a Microsoft IP, but Elder Scrolls is probably something from Skyrim. I don't know what I would build, like a literal Elder Scroll, or like maybe I could just do the first village you come in at in Skyrim. I don't know. We'll see. I still have to play. I still want to get that Oblivion remake, but that's my weakness with not having a current gen device. Can't really get it. Elder Scrolls. Anything else big from Bethesda? Fallout. Let's talk about Fallout. And as I remember, the Fallout TV show, I have to think about League of Legends. I'll put it down here because I don't want to think about it very much, but that's a maybe. Fallout's a maybe too, actually. I could make a very basic Fallout shelter. I like that idea, though. Vampire Masquerade. That is not a series I'm very familiar with. Saptos, do you play League of Legends? How much do you play League of Legends? See, the thing is, like, what would I build from League of Legends? Probably like a home base or something. Google it then. Let's see. Vampire Masquerade. He looks kind of like Harley Quinn. actually. You played too much League of Legends. We gotta save you, I think. Play more Minecraft. Still salvageable. Maybe, okay, I might as well get some more. Call of Duty's a maybe. I'm gonna be honest, Call of Duty does not have enough personality. And I mean that in, like, all the love in my heart. No, I actually don't. I'd rather have a lot of other shooter games than Call of Duty. That's a maybe, just because it's probably the biggest one outside of the free-to-play ones. Let me just look up. Let me look up Microsoft. Let me look up both Microsoft and Sony IPs. Microsoft IPs. No, Xbox IPs. Don't look up Microsoft. Xbox. Okay. Call of Duty. Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-fucking-Kazooie. Yeah, right. Okay. Oh, Lord. Half of these are not active. Forza. Again, I'm not including any racing games. Even Mario Kart. I just don't know how I'd make it work. They own Guitar Hero? I didn't know that, but that's funny. They own Overwatch. StarCraft, actually, wait. StarCraft's the baby. Tony Hawk. I guess, okay, Sony, okay, Microsoft also owns Warcraft, too. So, you know what, I got enough Microsoft. Let's look up Nintendo IPs. See if I miss anything big, because I forgot Donkey Kong for a while. Nintendo IPs. Let's see. Animal Crossing we already have down. Donkey Kong we already have. I'm not including Earthbound. I'll get to indies that are inspired off of Earthbound. I decided against Fire Emblem. Game & Watch is a fun idea. Frogger should be a Nintendo list. I don't think Frogger's Nintendo. I actually do like the idea of including Frogger. Maybe. Maybe. We have a couple arcade games already, but I think Frogger is up there. I like the idea of Game & Watch, but how would I make a very 2D... a game that is inherently based around the idea of being 2D and make it work? I don't know about that. Kirby, I already talked about my difficulties with Kirby. Metroid's a maybe. Pokemon's in. Splatoon. A lot. I don't know if you guys don't know on this server, but my other big friend group, they compete in Splatoon competitively. And Splatoon is based around squids. I don't like Splatoon very much. So I won't conclude Splatoon. Wario's like Mario again. Yoshi's Mario again. Okay, honestly, I think I got every big Nintendo franchise. I'm happy with this list. Why Splatoon? It's one of Nintendo's bigger IPs. You know what? To be fair, I'll put it in maybe, because if we're having like Jack and Daxter on here, I think Splatoon didn't fall out. No, the last game still sold a lot of money. And plus, Splatoon's getting another game like next year, so they're fine. We'll see what happens. So I went through all of Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox's games. Let's talk about indie games. Honestly, I think indie games might be the most fun ones to talk about here. What indie games are big enough to be here? Minecraft, obviously. But I'm not counting Minecraft. We already have Stardew Valley. I included it in the maybe tier. And honestly, a lot of these indie games are going to be in the maybe tier, including this little-known game called Undertale. The problem with Undertale is one I've already talked about. It's all underground. The entire plot of Undertale is that you fall underground. I don't want to commit to an underground build. So that's why Undertale is a maybe. Unironically, if it wasn't because of setting, I would actually have Undertale as a probably. Shovel Man. Shovel Man? Shovel Man is his name. Okay, Shovel Knight. I was about to make fun of you. I think Shovel Knight's a good shout. Shovel Knight was like the first big pixely game to like really pop off in like the early 2010s, basically on console. Specifically on console. There was a lot of other big indie games on PC ready. Put Shovel Knight in the maybe here. But honestly, I don't know what I would do for Shovel Knight. Balatro, I'm gonna be honest. Balatro doesn't work. I'm sorry. How does that even? How would I make Balatro work? Slenderman. What would I do for Slenderman? Just make a dark forest. It's not like I could make fog in Minecraft, so it's like kind of like half the point of Slenderman, which is the environment or like the atmosphere. It's not really possible. So like I'm not super interested in doing Slenderman. Butter. It's also probably not Slenderman. What other really big indie games? Celeste is another one that I'm saying Bob is not. Celeste is my favorite indie game ever. Celeste is my third favorite game of all time. It's actually maybe my second most favorite game of all time. I love Celeste. The big location I would have to build if I want to do Celeste is Celeste Mountain. I'm not building a whole ass mountain for an indie game. What are the big indie games are there? There's a lot of them out there. Slenderman. Let me just look up famous indie games. Let's see. Famous indie games. Hollow Knight. I already said maybe on Hollow Knight. Same reason why I'm kind of not keen on Undertale. It's underground. Cuphead. How would I make Cuphead even work? Again, like, the atmosphere of Cuphead being 90s. Like, not 90s, like 40s, 50s animation. You can't really translate that into Minecraft. Why not Inscription? Because I purposely ignored your message because I just didn't care. It's literally the same thing as Balatro. Sorry. Unless I am missing something. I don't know if I want to do Inscription. Unless I'm literally mixing up my IPs. Hopefully I'm not. Undertale Celeste. Terraria! Wait a minute. I actually love that idea. I love the idea of adding Terraria. Probably not considered them yet. I'd say actually run a do Terraria. Make like the Eye of Cthulhu, or like make a corruption. You could build a cabin for it. Maybe. But the thing is, I'm already planning on maybe making a cabin for God of War. It's tough out here. Tough competition. Binding of Isaac. Same. Why are so many indie games underground? Or like in a dungeon setting? Who's making these indie games? Hades. I've not played Hades. I'll put Hades in the maybe tier. Because I have it in my wish list. I've had it in my wish list for 4 years though. So that doesn't actually mean that much. Make the unicorn biome. Cult of Lamb. That's a maybe. Let's research it to make everything black background. Just say it's underground. That's not really how it works. Make the whole world an indie budget. Wait, that's kind of fire writing. I mean, I could do the unicorn biome set with those. I mean, which one's more famous? The how am I forgetting the name of the unicorn biome? Like, cause like nobody cares about Crimson. But like, I'd rather if I'm gonna do one, I'd probably do a corruption biome. Cause like I feel like 80% of people pick corruption. Let's look back onto our famous indie games. Oh yeah, I kind of want to move on to phase 2 of this stream in like 20 minutes. Oh my god, how is this not on the list? Among Us? Probably not. Among Us doesn't really lend itself to anything here. Five Nights at Freddy's. I could make like the pizzeria. I kind of like that idea actually. It is sus. I'll say probably not for Among Us, and a maybe for Five Nights at Freddy's. I guess we don't have a horror game right now, so it kind of boosts Five Nights at Freddy's kind of a little bit. Cave Story. Cave Story is interesting because it's such an important... Cave Story is maybe the most important indie game of all time. Genuinely, I don't hear people actually talk about Cave Story the game. But maybe that's just me and my own little dimension. Horror sucks. You're low-key right. This Fudgy Finance is like not great horror, but I'll put it on the list. Disco Elysium. Disco Elysium is a maybe. Subnautica is actually the Subnautica has legitimately like the underground issue, but on literal steroids. Like underwater, can we be for real? So no Subnautica probably. That sells maybe. Why is Rocket League considered indie? Is Rocket League indie? Slay the Spire, Undertale, Deltarune. Already said maybe, probably not. Undergrounds. If I'm going to do an underground build, I probably want to do. I kind of want to do. I kind of want to do Undertale if I'm doing underground at all. I would do like a list of 100 indie games. Outer Wilds is indie. I thought it was owned by Xbox. It's actually kind of impressive then. I think I got the indies, which I kind of really thought about. So let's think about mobile games again. Let me just go on the App Store. Let's see what's on the App Store. Oh god, this is gonna be bad. Angry Birds. Immediately I see Angry Birds on the App Store. Let's just say 1 or 2 for mobile. Angry Birds. Pokemon TCG. Raid Shadow Legends. I don't know. Oh. Gardenscapes. Oh, my favorite advertisements. Candy Crush. Solitaire. How do I do Solitaire? Royal Match. Oh god, the mobile environment has gotten really. Oh boy, but the rope is here. Fruit Ninja Uno. A lot of these don't lend themselves to actually being made into Minecraft, which is kind of my problem with Candy Crush. But also, I'm gonna make Tetris work, so I'm being a hypocrite. Balloon Tower Defense. Nah. Jetpack. Dead Cells is on mobile? What the hell? Geometry Dash just isn't feasible at all. You know, I thought I'd get like a lot of. As soon as I want to start shit talking the mobile landscape, I run into a important one. Subway Surfers. That's what's kind of memed on nowadays, because obviously Subway Surfers has gone down the infamous brain rot territory, but I think Subway Surfers still can justify itself. I think that's actually it. I don't think I'm going to run into another big, good indie game. Or not mobile game. Plague Inc. doesn't work. Subnautica's on mobile? How does that work? Temple Run. Temple Run is actually, it's more or less the same category, yeah. Why isn't there any Temple Run brain rot? like all the brain rot is like Subway Surfers. I guess Subway Surfers is more colorful. Grr. Subway Surfers is also easier to make thematically, so I'll pick Temple Run. Temple Run was the one I grew up playing. I played Temple Run a lot more than Subway Surfers in my time. Okay, but otherwise, I got the Nintendo games, I got the Sony games, I got the Xbox games, I got like third-party games, I got most genre definers. There's like an 80% chance that I run into another one, and I'm like, why did I not think about this one on stream? Now I look unculturedly foolish. But yeah, I think it's a good list. I think it's time to go into phase 2, which I'm actually going to be announcing. Of the stream is starting now. Wink, wink. The fun part. Wink, wink. Anyways, wink, wink. Wink, wink. Please, tune in onto my stream. Please. Please. Give me your money. Alright. I'm gonna log out my prep for this one. Because this one is, this part's gonna get a little, it's gonna be kind of a doozy. So, what's the point of it all? What is the purpose? Well, I've been on the server for quite a while. Many of you know my passwords, and one especially comes out on top. Artful Purge. My crown jewel. 4 months of development. Active, unemployed, school. I probably should have focused on school type of development. Played 1,000 times between 15-ish players in Season 1. Tons of community-made cheat sheets, challenges, and streams. And my proudest achievement in Minecraft will finally never come back. Artful Purge 2 doesn't happen. Sorry, guys. You have to keep moving forward. You can keep moving forward from what you've done, though. And now I'm proud to announce, introducing stream's ending. Bye. Hope everyone had a really good stream. How was it? Alright, let's just cut to the chase. Introducing a Swidd minigame, mini quotation marks. World Raiders. If you thought that my base was just supposed to be it's a fun little display of video games, then you don't know me enough. And let's just go over this small summary of what I'm planning here. Um, World Raiders is the spiritual successor to Heartful Purge. It is not a direct sequel. It's its own completely new thing. That said, it's a spiritual successor to Heartful Purge in the way that it's still a dungeon crawler, where you earn currency for rewards. And the task is the same as always. You get a compass, you follow it to its location, and then you get out with your treasure. And then with that treasure, you can reap the rewards. And as with many dungeons, with many adversaries working against you, mainly the obstacles and the mini monsters which have come from these video game worlds. So let's just go over this small thesis document a bit. This isn't too long. I'm basically just this is like my announcement of my planned season. There's going to be 3 difficulties of compasses, which you can buy at my base. They're going to be beginner, and experienced, and expert. And obviously, depending on what difficulty you select, you're going to be given a different compass, and you're going to be asked to explore my base to find the hidden treasure. And the compasses will obviously have obstacles that you'll have to defeat, whether it's enemies or parkour or puzzles. I have a lot of plans. One of the main things I learned from Heartful Purge is that having the difficulty actually mean something is a good idea. And I actually have plans of making beginner easy and actually having expert be hard. Because honestly, the entirety of Heartful Purge was a big, do you know how to play the game? And if you knew how to play the game, then experienced and expert was vaguely not very different at all. And then beginner was too easy. I have some major changes from previous games. And one of the big changes is that you actually no longer have to reset. One of my big plans for this dungeon crawler, you no longer have to kill yourself. And what I mean by that is the currency in this game, you actually keep after you finish the game. Once you complete the game, you keep that currency. And basically, oh wait, oops, I accidentally did something. What that means is you can basically stock up on your economy, and what that means is also I feel no need to actually have resets and stuff. And when you finish the game, the artifacts you get, which these are the artifacts are planned to be things that are based maybe be from video games that wouldn't work so much as a build, like Little Big Planet, Hollow Knight's also here, Balatro, little trinkets from these video game worlds. You can keep as you can either turn them in for your currency, or you can just keep them as a little toy on your shelf. This is also not a deck building game. My Heartful Purge, the more you played, the stronger you got. That's not the case here. Once you there's only one set difficulty from what you select. And much like Ancient Plunders from last season, this is a paid game, but each difficulty has different different costs. Beginners 1 diamond, experience is 3 diamonds, and expert is 5 diamonds. That's the current pricing. But the rewards are actually going to scale faster. Beginner is going to be you're going to get 1 rewards, but for experience you're going to get 5 of those rewards, and experts 12 of those rewards. So the higher difficulties still net you a lot more reward. And the rewards I'm thinking about, this cute little trinkets you can have outside of the dungeon. So I plan on making textures and items that are based off of video games, like a Pikachu hat, reskinned golden carrots based off the fruit from Crash Bandicoot, or the blades of chaos making your netherite sword. That's the type of thing I want to sell for my my minigame, and the only way to get these is from playing my game, succeeding at it, and getting enough to redeem basically these rewards. And the reward or the currency is cross tokens, which you can see right here. And like to like further iterate, what we just talked about for like the past like hour is the dungeon, basically. Basically all these game franchises, like the plan is to make them a varied such a varied area for a dungeon that's both like extremely interesting to explore and also like fun to work around, like fun to like play in, but also like trying not to compromise the vision just because of like redstone problems or like gameplay issues. Like I hope that like how all these video game worlds interconnect in this game. And there's potential for underground aerial zones, but I don't think I'm going to do those at launch because those are going to be a lot harder. And also, the dungeon's going to be visible from blue map, so there will actually be a stylized map output available to help players. And also one other cool thing that I plan on doing is having enemies based on the. See, this is the entire point of like the video game concept. It's like you can make a like a Goomba from a wither skeleton or a Coco demon from a skeleton, and it all just fits really well. So that's like my entire concept for the base. It is a base which is a game celebrating the entirety of gaming. It's the Smash Brothers, but it's a dungeon. It's basically Smash Bros, but a dungeon. If anyone has any questions, then feel free to ask. No, Switzkoff, probably not. I don't think Switzkoff's real. Ugh. Anyways. So I actually plan on launching to get this game. It's going to be like smaller scale than Heartful Purge at launch. Like when Heartful Purge launched, it had like 70% of the content of the game already, and like within like the first month, like I already had like 10% of the game. You want to have help building the course? Honestly, yes, I do kind of want help. Help would be greatly appreciated. Maybe a lot of it would be resources, but a lot of it would be just like conceptualizing these worlds. Again, from world very specifically, also worlds that I'm not super familiar with. Like I don't want to do like a botched God of War area or like a botched Dark Souls area. I do want to give these franchises like something that's representative of the series, while also being really cool and also having enough references to feel like it. So this game will launch smaller than Heartful Purge because it's kind of gonna be like a live service game, where like I'll like release it small with like only a couple rewards. Like maybe like at launch I'll only have like a Pikachu hat of like these three plus like a couple others. But over time, like this game is being built so I can add content over time, which means that it's gonna be a lot easier for me to flesh out the future, because like this is like one big thing, because like it reduces the initial workload for me while also getting the game to you guys a little faster and also not overwhelming me with scope. Because I'll say right now, scope killed my last game, and I want to prevent that. So this is the game which I'm developing that can either be small and it can grow into something very big. And this is a full season project, obviously. Yep, each new season's the game is planned to be in seasons, come up with new zones, compasses, and rewards. And that's more or less all that I'm willing to share for now. But it's not Heartful Purge 2, but it is. It is a spiritual successor to Heartful Purge. I am quite excited to work it out. Any thoughts? Because this is the end of the stream. Just like this reveal of Heartful Purge, more or less, or not Heartful Purge. I'm still calling it Heartful Purge. It's plagued in my mind of World Raiders. World Raiders is the game. Is my next Minecraft game. I'm excited. Honestly, this idea has been like in my brain for the past like week, and I'm like in like 3 days ago, I was like, you know what? I'm down. I'm down for another dungeon. I miss Heartful Purge. I want something similar to it. Which means, yes, my base was not originally supposed to be a dungeon, but I kept thinking, and I was like, I can make it work. Don't end stream. What do you want me to? You just want to watch me mine logs for a while? Because that's what I've been doing. I've just been mining logs in my Minecraft world. I guess I can stick around for a little more before I get hungry and want to eat lunch. Let's see. Load up Minecraft. Limp Humor's texture pack makes it take forever to load in the server. Anything really fun hanging out. Fair enough. I'll go and yeah, sure. We'll hang out a bit. We'll talk for a bit, for quite a bit. Ah, did he not want to sleep? Oh well. I'm glad to see there's hype around it though. Still on it. Yes, you're being displayed to 7 people. That's actually more than usual. I don't actually usually get 7 people watching the Swidd stream. Crazy out here. Let me readjust this so it fits on the OBS. There we go. So I'm not actually covering it. Like we all know. Everyone knows what was just announced. If you just pop in randomly, it's like, oh, this is what you were going to do. That's a Swidd moment. But yeah, this is going to be a really long-term project. I don't know when the first playable version of the game is going to be out. And honestly, it's not going to be that redstone heavy in my mind. It's because there's no decks, there's no hashtag Swidd moment. There's no decks, so that big chunk where the dungeon has to change with the player, that's not a thing. And oh yeah, this is also another huge thing I forgot to put in the document. Multiple people can run this dungeon at the same time. It's preliminarily planned? Question mark. Let me turn on the music again. Not the creepy music. Um, there we go. Like one of the big things that I want to do this time is that, like multiple people can run the same, like the dungeon at the same time, because like since there's no like every run, there's like it's like a set amount. Like there's no like items dropping on the floor, and there's no like need for a despawn timer. So I'm like, yes. The one thing that makes me say no is that if you die with your artifact on, you could still find your artifact or your dropped compass, and then you could do that. Which kind of makes me think, can you do multiple people in like no resetting? And I'm gonna say I'll just make a rule for it, because honestly, I love the idea of like having multiple people in the dungeon. But also, it'd be like, what if 2 people are doing the same compass? So I'm like, maybe I do it in a way where it's like multiple people can do the dungeon at the same time, but they'd have to be doing different difficulties, I guess. This song is horrible. What the hell? Okay. So that's like one thing I just did put in the document, but... Hello there, Handus!
I might have been watching you for a minute or two.
Uh-huh.
As you probably knew.
Mm-hmm. I did...
Great stream, by the way.
Thank you. I did not actually see you. I'm blind.
I was creeping around.
My trees and my monologuing, they were too powerful.
Yeah, now I ruined the flow for you.
Exactly.
I understand.
That's the Hundus classic, isn't it? Not really.
Yeah, he's coming up, disturbing people. Pretty much.
Yeah, that's my job. Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, you have your famous stare.
Hey, I work on my redstone and I bother people, so I'm the only one who makes progress.
But it's fun, you do like, you just walk up to people and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me. Like, it only works for you.
What doesn't work for you? Or me?
This, you just run up to people and stare at them.
Yeah, because I have,
back.
yeah, my eyes are a lot funnier.
Well, my eyes are the size of my head, you know, like.
I guess. And I'm also missing an eye right now, so I guess it isn't as effective.
Alright, well, I will continue watching the stream.
Alright.
And you go back to your monologuing.
Yes. My monologuing.
Wait, I never asked, are we allowed to interrupt the stream like this? Huh?
Go right ahead. Absolutely.
Breaking the fourth wall here.
You can break. Anybody can break the stream.
Oh, you hear that, people? Alright, we will remember it.
Exactly.
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, what's the worst gonna happen? I have never bothered Bean when he streams. That's never happened before.
That's like, I don't know. Alright. Have fun.
Did I ever explain what I'm doing here? I don't know if I have. I'm just clearing out the jungle here so more shops can be built. That's it. I would never bother Bean. That's just true. We all know this. Like, what's the worst I've ever done with meme? Oh, jeez, I'm getting a full inventory of rubbish. Anything else I want to monologue about the game? Not really. Because, I mean, just by the... I mean, you guys literally just helped me conceptualize the zones of the game. So yes, it's in early development. I would even say it's in early development. I'd say it's just beginning conceptualization. Like, I have a logo, I have, like, a couple textures, and I already have, like, a couple ideas for artifacts and a couple, like, compass challenges. Okay, that's actually a lot more than I thought, but, you know, it's not that much. Seriously, they need to ban the person who made these stupid trees. Seriously. I'm gonna add my throne room. What video game are you from, Huntus? Hashtag bare minimum. Are you from... let me guess what game you're from. It can't be a highly rated game. That's just not... That doesn't make sense. The Darth lives. Thank you, Polish Pope. I saw you're also doing a dungeon. I heard you're doing a more like a Tango Tech style dungeon. Mine is not really that, so hopefully our goals don't align too much. I'm doing a very different type of dungeon, hopefully. But I'm also excited for your whatever you're planning. Yeah, like, there's also another dungeon. Wouldn't be the first season with multiple dungeons. Temple. Okay. I like it. Temple. Hundus is from .con. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Hundus gets shot at. But that's... Okay, I like it. We've already known that, Saftos. You're far behind. That would be rude. I know the mark posting doesn't work, but... Swidd, what doing? Oh no. I just announced some small plans. No biggie.
Ow! What?
On this?
Who changed the name?
What do you mean?
It said Hundus on this and someone changed it to Swidd.
It wasn't me.
Hey!
Hey!
It was on purpose, huh?
Hey!
What's
This is my Ender Porter.
What? Why?
What do you mean, why?
I
What?
came in here talking about...
Yeah, who just teleported out of the porter?
I mean...
It wasn't Hundus.
Whatever happened?
Oh wait, I'm not talking to you. You know, Hundus, this is mine.
This is mine.
No, this is my. Did you not see who just teleported out of it?
I just teleported out of it. What do you mean?
No, that's not true.
Jeez, I was like 1,000 blocks away and got teleported here because of you.
Yeah, hey, so who else got teleported here? Me! I was at spawn, mining all the wood in the universe. Oh. Oh.
Oh, boo-hoo. You're doing some community work, huh?
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah, right? Wait, I thought I was here. Did they move me?
I don't know. Why is this here?
Wait, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, did they move me?
Yeah, what did they do? I would not replace you on the sign and then also take over your ender porter and also kick you out.
Yeah, I thought I was right here. So, wait.
What?
What are these devils doing, huh?
They're probably doing nerd stuff. Oh, jeez, it's improved in here. It's
Very
also,
nice.
it's also got bigger, of course it has.
I think he wanted to show off your his called farm,
Of course.
his clay farm, you know, on stream.
Oh yeah, his clay farm. I mean, I've already seen his clay farm. That's the most impressive thing ever. Very cool. It's kind of crazy how much you can do. Like, it's crazy how you can make so much dirt and then transfer it automatically. And basically, you can automatically make. It's so cool. Yeah, this is the nerd base. What's the name of this cast? The Leviathan. Good name.
Well, I'm going back to where I came from.
Yeah,
A couple thousand blocks away.
Yeah, I'm gonna set up my nether portal again.
You mean my... Stop, God! Swidd! I will.
Alright, there we go. Hey! What did I do to you?
Stop trying to take my
This is my porter.
You stop there. Thank you. God.
You changed the name. Why would you do
Yankee! Yankee! With this being a meanie.
You're being a meanie. Would it be kind of you to barge into my house and just claim, oh, this is mine now?
If it's my text, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know about that. Like, it's kind of.
When do you even come here to fix that, huh?
It's kind of. I kind of don't believe you.
Oh, is that so? I have a great, honest truth record. Okay, everyone knows that I always tell the truth. I never lie, never scheme, never prank. I just go around building castles. That's all I do.
You know who also doesn't have a history of lying? Me.
You?
No, I never.
You can't say it with a straight face.
Yeah, I never lie. Why is that? Exactly.
I have to scheme out of this. We're talking about you, okay?
Exactly.
Okay, we can do this. We can share for now.
Share? How's that gonna work? Okay, fine. Fine, we'll share. Ugh.
The goats. Here, wait. The goats. We've done this.
You kind of have to redo the entire sign to make it fit.
Wait. Oh, I know. Do you have a sign on you?
Yeah.
I allow wood on me.
Yeah, I do actually. Let me just
Yeah, that is just.
Where is it?
I agree with you. I feel like they will hunt us down for this.
No, they would never. Oh, there's a lot of signs. Okay. Wow, you crafted a sign just like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, with different wood.
Exactly.
Can I copy text? Oh, I can.
Hmm.
You
can only copy one line of text at a time. It's awful.
I see. Okay, well, wait, we gotta redo this. Oh god, I got haste. Okay.
You're breaking the base now. Okay, no more beefing.
Okay, I feel that's a great sign. What do you think, Swidd? Fair? Equals?
Stream's over.
What? your name is there.
I feel disrespected to the core.
What is it for? It's your name up there. What?
You can't trick me. You can't trick the happy guest. You can't trick Sea Lion right there. Everyone knows the truth. I am the GOAT.
No, I'm the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
I don't agree. I disagree.
Okay, were you on the last day of Spawn, last season? Like the server tour? Remember remember Shafto Space? They find all his books?
I did actually do that.
You did, yeah. So you remember there was one book that had like 20 pages telling how great I was.
Oh yeah, that was there.
Yeah, so
that is
already.
I guess that is kind of legally binding since like the server's now down. So like.
Yeah, like the one and only Mr. Hundis. People call me special in a good way, I hope.
In a good way.
Right, Esling? Julia?
That's hilarious.
You think I'm special, right? My fiance said I was special too, so
okay.
I feel pretty blessed.
Well, let me fix the sign.
Hashtag blessed.
Sweet. No, not at the bottom. God, this is a horrible sign to write dark text on Swidd.
He said blessed my heart.
No.
Whatever that means.
Brilliant talent. There we go.
Oh wait, let me fix this for you.
What are you doing now?
Nothing. I fixed it. Well, English isn't your first language, so I just had to help you out. Like, that's how you write it, I think. I'm dyslexic, but
Well, you better have fun writing then.
No! You fool!
I got him good. Alright, I'm actually hungry though. I'm gonna eat. That was a fun stream. Stay tuned for more information. Am I going the right way? Yeah. Stay tuned for more information on the game. I'm excited to share more. I don't have much right now, but hopefully it turns out to be something very, how do I say it? Swidd.